Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, today we would like to present about the research journal article for our assignment for current issue in ELT assignment. This journal from Taylor and Francis. So we should present the journal. Okay, before we start it, I will introduce my group first. The first one is Caleb Aditya Harjono. Hi, Caleb.
Hello Putri.
The second one is Fauzia Cynthia Maharani.
Hi,
Hi,
Put.
Cynthia. And then the third one is Dian Rosdiana. Hi, Dian.
Halo Putri. Halo Putri.
Okay. And the last one is myself. My name is Putri Arinda. Okay, Caleb, you can go to the next slide. Okay. So the title of the journal itself is Redefining the Role of English as a Foreign Language in the Curriculum in the Global Context. This is the journal from Taylor and Francis. The author are Zhang Hyuk Hong and Margaret Zegers. This is the author. And then the author is from University of Ballarat, Ballarat, Victoria, Australia. Okay, Caleb. Okay. So I will explain about the author's rationale in conducting the study, why the authors wants to conduct the study. So uh, related to the title, redefining the curriculum in China context. So why the author want to want to reform the curriculum in China? The first reasons is based the journal that we read. The first reason is the traditional teaching method do not positions students as the main stakeholder of education, and they also fail to improve students' comprehensive language competence. So the traditional teaching methods before the curriculum in 21st century, it's not suitable. It's not suitable for the students in China itself to improve their English language. So that, that is the first reasons why the author wants to redefine the curriculum in China, because the first curriculum in China that doesn't suitable to improve students' language skills. And then the second one is based on the previous study, according to Zhang, 2006 argues the curriculum had lost its significance and functions. The teaching and learning design around the curriculum had come to seem meaningless, and the existing EFL curriculum was not able to meet the needs of the country's rapid economic, social, scientific, and technological. So, the first curriculum was not able to meet the needs of the students itself to achieve the English competence, to achieve the English language skills of the students. So that's why the author wants to redefine the curriculum. Okay, you can go to the next slide. And then that picture make a demand to reform the EFL curriculum in secondary schools. So that's why the author wants to redefine the curriculum in secondary school. In response of the challenges posed by globalizations, the Chinese government has begun to emphasize reforming education, and relevant policies have been realized throughout the country, including those in relation to the new curriculum reform in China's secondary schools. So one of the factors that make the author wants to redefine the curriculum is globalizations. So the globalizations make the author wants to redefine the curriculum to make the all of the sector in China is as a good sector. For example, the aspect of the quality of education and the policy of the government itself. So that's why the author wants to redefine curriculum in China. So that's why the title of the journal is the redefining of the role of English as a foreign language in the new EFL curriculum. Okay, you can continue.
Okay, thank you, Putri. The author aimed in conducting the study, the goal of curriculum reform, promote education to become qualified in the development of a skill in China, like developing a curriculum in education to make learning easier. So next, Caleb.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. So let me explain a little background about the history of how English curriculum or how English learning process was developed in China. Okay, let me explain first in general that in the beginning that English had developed rapidly and prominently between the 19th and mid 20th centuries throughout the world. Okay, so between 19th and mid 20th centuries, English was seen as the developed language in this world. Okay, in 2001, people realized that okay, English was important because it could be used as the language or the medium in the international trade, international commerce, education, and entertainment industries. That is the second point. And then the next point that because of the long journey of the long evolution and the long process of the implementation of English in the society, finally English became a global language, or we can say the international language by the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Okay, that is the beginning. So it's developed from the international trade activity, international commerce activity, and entertainment such as television, radio, newspaper, and then other media. And that time, finally, because it is rapidly developed, because it is used oftenly, English become the international language. In China, history of English in China, in 1949, English has been used in the politics, education, and economic aspects. Okay, politics, education, and economic aspects. But in 1950s, in 1950s, English was regarded as unpatriotic. So people in China were forbid to use English because the government saw that as the unpatriotic attitude. Since a number of English speaking countries did not recognize China, did not really consider the existence of China country. That was the little background from the history of English. Dian, maybe you can explain the next one.
The curriculum history in Chinese context. In 1993 EFL curriculum, there is only two basic aspects. The first is language knowledge and language skill. And then the curriculum form implemented in Chinese secondary school at the beginning of the 21st century has incorporated goals of citizenship education, highlighting them in the world of new curriculum standard, content, and model of instruction. Next chart. And then in the 21st century, English has developed as significant language in the Chinese context and gained a much higher status than before. China's entering the World Trade Organization or WTO in 2001, hosting the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2008, have provided future opportunities to make closer contact with the outside world, emphasizing English and its growing new importance as a global language in China. Next.
Okay, thanks Dian for explaining to us. So the point from this curriculum history in Chinese context. So let me make it easier for you, audience, that in 1993, EFL curriculum only emphasized two basic aspects, which are language knowledge and language skills. This was stated by Ministry of Education. And then this curriculum mainly employs summative assessment. So they did that on their assessment process with a focus on the result of the learning and teaching. So they more emphasize and they more focus to the result instead of the process of the English learning. That is the point. That is the highlight of this first point. The second one, what can we conclude from this one is that the curriculum reform implemented in Chinese secondary schools at the beginning of 21st century was in line with the goal of citizen. So this was relevant with their goal, with their standard, with their intention, with their education condition, contents, and modes of instruction. That is the highlight of the second point. And then from this one, we can also state that in the 21st century, because of the long journey and the long process that English has faced in the educational aspect, especially the curriculum history in Chinese context, English has developed in 21st century as the significant language in the Chinese context and gained a much higher status than before. So it was developed more often and developed more than before. Not only that, in 2001, China also involved and joined in the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 2001 and hosting the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2008, which is make the use of English was more often because they had the contact with the outside world, with the international audience, with the global people. So that's why English has developed more than before. The conclusion, okay, this is the last slide of today's presentation. So education for citizenship described in the new EFL curriculum is consistent with the requirement of citizens in socialist countries such as China. So people believe And then the agent of education believed that this EFL curriculum was in line with the circumstances and with the intention in this country, in this China, because they saw it as the challenge in globalization and part of the intent of the new EFL curriculum reform. And then the last point, that the role of English as foreign language in the new curriculum is a prominent feature of the EFL curriculum reform. So because of this challenge, because of this globalization, the researcher and the agent of education want to reform, want to change this EFL curriculum so it could fulfill this purpose. It could be in line with the globalization and the context in the EFL teaching and learning to be implemented in Chinese secondary school. That was the last point of today's presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. I'm Caleb, and my friend Cynthia and Putri and Dian say thank to all of you for listening. We want to say sorry if there is a mistake. We hope you can get the point and can get the new knowledge from this journal that we have read. Thank you for listening. Bye bye. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.